so great to see you. Welcome to Miss Eel's wonderful world of science. Today, what we are going to be talking about is the scientific method. The scientific method about our wonderful world and a process that we have to go through when we have questions. And that is our first step. Our first step in the scientific method is question. Scientists always come up with questions that they're trying to answer. And a question is a sentence asked to learn about information. Scientists have to identify a problem that they want to solve. They'll probably ask who, what, where, when, questions about our world. What are some questions that you might have about science? Now, the second step in the scientific method is whenever we have a question, we have a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a potential answer to solve what your question is. So step 2 is you have to form a hypothesis. Not just any old guess, like, why isn't the sun blue? Is that a good guess? Is that a great hypothesis? No. Or don't guess that the sky is rainbow colors. That wouldn't work. So a hypothesis is an educated guess that helps you think of what the question is going to be. So step 2, make a hypothesis. Make a nice educated guess. The third step in the scientific method is to conduct an experiment. So you have a question for step 1, you have a hypothesis for step 2, and in step 3, I now want to have an experiment. I need to test out if my hypothesis is true or not. I have to prove or disprove if I think I'm right or wrong. Now, there are so many science tools that we use during an experiment. All right, look at these science tools. I have an experiment. It's yellow, it's blue. What's gonna happen? Whoa, it turned green. I would be testing out my hypothesis during an experiment and trying to figure out what would be next. Did I get it right? Is my experiment correct? Okay, so now that brings me to my fourth step. Observe and record data. Now, when we go to record data, we have to look if there were any variables in the experiment, any independent or dependent variables and controlled groups. All right? Then we also have to look at our observing. We need to observe our experiments using our 5 senses, whatever 5 senses you could use. So you're going to observe and then record your data based upon your experiment. There are so many ways that you could record your data. Charts, graphs, all right? Any of those. And then you have to see how many trials did you have? Did you have any trials? So record your experiments. And then when you are recording, you can look, are you going to use quantitative recording or qualitative recording? And then you have to think about, did I record correctly? After I'm recording my experiments, then I can start to think about my next step. So that next step is step 5, analyzing your data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my data and I'm going to see, was my hypothesis correct? I'm going to compare my experiment and my hypothesis and look at my results. I'm going to try to figure out, am I right? Am I wrong? What information can I conclude about this? And that brings us to step number 6. Step number 6 is your conclusion. It's your statement. If you were right or if you were wrong during your hypothesis. So you're drawing a conclusion. You have to make an opinion based upon your experiment. Now, there are claims and evidence and reasoning that you might want to add and state. My hypothesis was correct. My hypothesis was wrong. I was right. I was wrong. And then maybe you were wrong. And guess what? You need to just go back and repeat some of these steps. If you're wrong, you can go back. You can go back to any order. But if you're right, good job. Make a poster, present your idea, and then share it out and let us know, hey, I got my hypothesis correct. Or, oh, I got my hypothesis incorrect. I wonder what I did wrong during my experiment. Experiment. So that's the scientific method. Scientific method, step 1, ask a question. Step 2, form a highly educated guess. All right? Step 3, conduct the experiment with all of your tools. Step 4, observe your experiment. All right? And record your data using all the different kinds of tools out there that you could record. Step 5, analyze, carefully examine what you did. And step 6, draw a conclusion about what happened. Were you right or were you wrong? So that's the scientific method, and thank you for joining Miss Eel today, and I look forward to seeing you back again another time. Bye, everybody.